Franklin Street's second oldest restaurant, Sutton's Drug Store, turns 100 today. We're live on the scene to show you how they're celebrating and how you can participate.
Medical marijuana continues moving through the state legislature. What does this mean for on-campus use? Stay with us here at Carolina Week.
From the UNC Hussman School of Journalism and Media, connecting Carolina's campus and community, this is Carolina Week.
Welcome to Carolina Week. I'm Abigail Whittington.
And I'm Lauren Lovett. An update on a story we brought you last week. 28-year-old Ronell Devon Canyon is under arrest in connection to the April 2nd shooting on Mason Farm Road. Canyon is being held at the Durham County Jail on a $450,000 secured bond.
A Franklin Street favorite turns 100 this year. CW reporter Ashna Shah is at Sutton's Drug Store to show us how they're celebrating.
I'm currently at Sutton's Drug Store here for their 100th year anniversary, and the crowd has been lining up since 8:45 in the morning to get in on this celebration. As you can see, the line is so long and will continue growing throughout the day. Because of their special deal that they're offering for today only, Sutton's is offering fries, a hot dog, and a drink, all for 100 cents or $1 as we know it. I got the chance to talk to the owner of Sutton's myself and got in on a little bit of his secrets as to how he's able to stick around on Franklin Street for 100 years. Let's see what he has to say.
Restaurants come and go on Franklin Street, but a century and 4 owners later, Sutton's Drug Store still stands. First opened as a pharmacy in 1923 by Linwood and Lucy Sutton, the store became known as a place where customers could pick up their prescriptions and munch on a snack while they waited.
She's the one, the daughter, that's Cat Baby. But this is Margaret's retirement party.
Just one step inside and you're transported in time through the old-fashioned candy and soda bottles on the shelves and decades of photos covering the store's walls. Douglas Gresham has been a Sutton's customer since 1991, passing on his love for the place to his son via memories and hamburgers.
In fact, some of the pictures that are up, I'm able to see some of my friends when we were here. When we were undergrads, probably if they had pictures that long ago, my parents would be in some too.
Current owner Don Penny would probably agree. His parents worked at Sutton's and even he started working there at age 13-14. He credits Sutton's longevity to the generational customer loyalty and his own staff.
Being here so people see you, having a friendly staff that's consistent, it makes a big difference. They make people feel at home.
Penny says he has a personal relationship with many of his customers and that you're always likely to find him chatting it up with first-timers and regulars alike.
It is wonderful to watch a student come in as a freshman and see them leave as a senior and see the development and the growth of hundreds of customers, daily that you see. All of a sudden they're graduating and gone, but they come back and visit.
As you can see, the celebration is in full force here, and they'll be open until 2:30 p.m. So make sure you get out here when you can. You don't want to miss out on the fun. I know I'm about to hop in line as soon as we're done here. Reporting live from Chapel Hill, I'm Ashna Shah with Carolina Week.
Thanks, Ashna. That seems like so much fun.
I'm hoping to make it out there after this.
Another Chapel Hill staple minutes away from Sutton's is up for sale. Mama Dips has been a Rosemary Street favorite since the late 70s, but now the restaurant is up for sale with a price tag of over $3.5 million. The owners say they're nearing retirement age, and this was the best decision for them. Our Stephen Schlink will sit down with Anita Council, one of the co-owners, later this week to discuss the restaurant's future. You'll find that interview on next week's show.
Former U.S. Vice President Mike Pence will be in Chapel Hill later this month. Pence will be in Chapel Hill on April 26th from 7 to 8 p.m. He'll be speaking at the Carolina Union Great Hall with a Q&A discussion after. The event is free and open to the community, but tickets are required.
UNC has a new set of student leaders. SGA inaugurated its new administration last night. That included a new student body president, graduate student body president, and several other officers. Outgoing SBP Teddy Van reflected on her time in office and wished incoming SBP Chris Everett all the best.
Back in the North Carolina House, the Compassionate Care Act, a bill to legalize medical marijuana.
If passed, what is that going to look like for college campuses?
From my reporting, Abigail, it looks like administrators here are still trying to figure that out. But I still wanted to know, so I spoke to an out-of-state university spokesperson about what changed when medical marijuana became legal there. Here's what I learned.
The bill is going to, in my opinion, help a lot of people.
Marijuana does not treat the ailment.
This could really make a difference in their life.
A point of contention in North Carolina for years now.
marijuana and cannabis-derived products prescribed by doctors to ease medical symptoms like chronic pain and PTSD. Eshelman School of Pharmacy professor Dr. Amanda Corbett has studied their use in cancer patients.
I'm in support of legalization of medical marijuana, and especially in North Carolina.
If it were to become law, what would it mean for college students? The short answer, not much. Even in states like Michigan, where medical marijuana became legal more than a decade ago, and recreational use is legal now too.
Those over 21 can consume. However, on our campus, that's still prohibited.
That's Derek Hall, Chief Marketing Officer at Northern Michigan University.
And it's prohibited because of the federal guidelines related to cannabis. As an institution that receives federal funding, we follow all the laws related to cannabis that the federal government has.
Students who violate this policy, Hall says, could face academic or legal consequences from the university and campus and local law enforcement.
It's been part of the student code for years and years and years. The enforcement is the same. Nothing really changed.
We asked several UNC leaders about how the university would approach the law, but they declined to comment. Dr. Corbett says, as several other states legalize medical and recreational use of marijuana, it's important to look at what they have done and how.
We're definitely not the only state in the U.S. who has not approved medical marijuana as to be legal, but I feel we are pretty behind the majority of states in the U.S. that have approved that legislation.
Still, it could be years before medical marijuana is allowed in North Carolina, and even more at the federal level. It's been sitting in the House for weeks now. No word yet on any upcoming votes, meaning the bill could die in the House a second time.
Interesting. Thanks, Lauren. UNC will host the annual Arts Everywhere Day on Friday. The event will feature a pottery exhibit, a performance by UNC's Glee Club, and a show from the Blue Star Vietnamese dance team. Find out all the details at the link on the screen.
The UNC chapter of the National Alliance on Mental Illness held the Reduce the Stigma Worldwide Mental Health Fair over the weekend. While the rain forced many of the scheduled events to cancel, local mental health groups and organizations shared resources and information to fight the mental health stigma, especially on college campuses. Abigail, are you excited for all the upcoming senior events?
It's bittersweet, Lauren. I'm sad to go, but I'm really excited to celebrate.
Some more events for the class of 2023. The UNC General Alumni Association is hosting a wine and design party tomorrow, a professional headshot workshop on Friday, and an exclusive show at the Moorhead Planetarium on Monday, just for the newest group of Carolina grads. There's one catch: you have to RSVP and spots are limited. To register, visit alumni.unc.edu and look for the Class of 23 Senior Week page.
Next on Carolina Week, new housing proposals in Chapel Hill could prioritize high-density housing for students over accessible and low-income housing.
The House budget and governor's budget prioritize state employee pay. What are the differences between the plans? Coming up.
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive,
ZWX.
You're not okay to drive.
YGKLVW. Regular you.
Important zoning changes were the single item on Monday's Chapel Hill Town Council meeting agenda. The goal? To increase housing options in Chapel Hill. If approved, the change would allow for more duplexes and other medium-density housing. Community members were not allowed to comment at the meeting, but council members voiced their opinions.
So this, like I said, is one tool to allow us to increase that housing diversity, the availability and accessibility of housing.
To support neurodiverse people in our community, the Chapel Hill Public Library just introduced some new resources. The Neurodiversity and Nature Initiative brings sensory-friendly furniture, nature-themed sensory kits, and a new sensory trail to the library's Pritchard Park. Development of the trail will continue this spring in partnership with the NC Botanical Garden.
Calling all artists. Representative Valerie Foushee wants you. The Congresswoman is looking for local young artists to submit their work for the Congressional Art Competition. The winner will have their work displayed in the U.S. Capitol for an entire year. Students can submit their work to Foushee's website.
The North Carolina Supreme Court is in the process of rehearing 2 election-related cases that had already been decided. Carolina Week reporter Walter Ranke explains.
It's important to note, last year the state Supreme Court had a 4-3 Democratic majority, but the tables turned in the 2022 election when Republicans gained a 5-2 majority. One case the Democrat-led court struck down, a Republican-supported voter ID law the court found targeted black voters. But with the rehearing, Republican lawyers want to reverse that decision. The other case is a landmark redistricting case, where the court ruled GOP-drawn electoral maps were politically gerrymandered and unfair, and is the subject of the U.S. Supreme Court case Moore v. Harper. A new ruling from the state Supreme Court could affect the U.S. Supreme Court's decision in Moore v. Harper. Some Democrats are calling the rehearings a purely political move. Here's House Minority Leader Robert Reeves, who thinks the rehearings could undermine faith in the judicial system.
The legal precedent, whether you agree with it or not, there's incredible value to a structure being in place that people can depend on whenever they go before the judiciary.
On the other hand, Mitch Kokai, a political analyst at the conservative John Locke Foundation, says this has more to do with timing and how the Supreme Court works.
It's not likely to set much of a precedent one way or another because the same rules apply in every case, and the rules didn't change for these 2 rehearings.
With Republicans in control, new decisions are extremely likely in both cases. One would mean voter ID requirements at the polls, and the other would give the legislature more power to draw maps benefiting the majority party. One of the plaintiffs in the first redistricting case is Bob Phillips, executive director of voting rights nonprofit Common Cause NC.
We're a mobile society, and young people particularly are going to be armed.
No matter the decision, North Carolina voters will see the impacts of both cases as early as the 2024 elections. In Raleigh, I'm Walter Ranke, Carolina Week.
A new absentee ballot bill in the General Assembly could jeopardize thousands of ballots in future elections. The bill would eliminate the 3-day grace period after an election for an absentee by mail ballot to arrive. If passed, the measure could impact those who rely on absentee voting in North Carolina, especially out-of-state students or students who study abroad. Here's what some UNC students think.
This bill makes me concerned for out-of-state students and people who studied abroad like me. It's just a question of, will my vote get counted?
The bill will now head to the House Rules Committee before it reaches the floor for a final vote.
The North Carolina House of Representatives approved its version of the state budget, including funding for the controversial School of Civic Life and Leadership. The approved funding will give the university $2 million for the 2023-2024 fiscal year to support the development of the new school and hire faculty. UNC will receive another $2 million the following year. The proposed budget is off to the Senate and will be voted on in the coming weeks.
Governor Roy Cooper and State House Republicans released their budget proposals for the 2023-2025 fiscal years. Both plans prioritize increasing teacher and state employee pay, with Cooper's proposal offering a bigger increase. Governor Cooper's budget proposed a $1.8 billion plan to raise teacher pay by 18% over 2 years, while the House proposes a 10% increase. Cooper's budget includes $1.5 billion for childcare and $1 billion for mental health needs. The House proposal allocates $15 million for an adolescent behavioral health care facility.
North Carolina residents may no longer have to visit their local DMV as often. A House bill would double the renewal period for most driver's licenses. So instead of renewing licenses every 8 years, drivers between the ages of 18 and 65 would be able to every 16 years. The bill would also allow renewals to be done online. Currently, you can replace a missing or broken license card, but not renew an expired one. The law would make North Carolina the state with the longest driver's license renewal cycle in the country. Here's what some Tar Heels think about the proposal.
Well, as far as like not having to, I know that the DMV, there will be the option to not have to go in person, which will be, I think that would help me a lot personally, just because I know a lot of people, including myself, have really busy lives and busy schedules.
One of my favorite spring activities is driving my car with the windows down to Jordan Lake. I just have to make sure my license hasn't expired.
CW meteorologist Corey Kowitz is with us. Corey, can I put my car's top down this week?
I'm going to go with yes. It's going to be a beautiful day. It's also something I also love to do. Look no further than this beautiful temperature map we have here. In the high 70s, maybe creeping in the low 80s for most of the Carolina, stretching from the coast to the eastern boundary of the Appalachian. A little bit warmer up to our north. That's just because a little bit drier, ability to get a little bit warmer, and down to our friends in the south. here. South Carolina, our neighbors, in Georgia, a little bit cooler as well, maybe just because of the cloud cover you could be seeing here. But playing your day out here on your beautiful Wednesday in the low 70s here for on your noon, and then a high 70s, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe creeping into the 80s, into the mid 70s for your evening, remaining beautiful and sunny throughout the entire day. However, Fridays, when we could see those bright blue skies turn gray, we have a system that is going to come here, a rogue low, a cutoff flow that's going to form into the Gulf, streaming, bringing with it a lot of tropical moisture, a lot of rain. The models become a little bit more bullish here on the chance for your rain and a dreary end of your week on Friday. But right on our tail will be another system at the end of your weekend on Sunday. This is more of a classic severe weather setup with the low forming in the Great Plains, moving up to the north and east with the low centered over the upper Great Lakes, and then a cold front draped down, lining the Appalachians right ahead of that. In the warm sector is where we could see this severe threat, and there'll be 3 variables I'll be looking to determine if we may have a severe threat on your Sunday. The first thing I'll be looking at is moisture. I'm also ranking them in terms of confidence. Most confident we'll have enough moisture there to fuel this severe weather. The second thing I'm most confident in, somewhat confident, is the shear. Again, that's the ability, that's the upper level winds here will be in the yellow sector in the evening. That's the ability for the storms to become stronger and more widespread, and then again lift. That's the thing I'm That's the thing I'm looking at the most. That's the thing we may not have enough of to produce severe weather. The lift, also known as CAPE, is the ability for the storms in the air to rise. You see those towering cumulonimbus clouds associated with thunderstorms. That's the ability for the air to rise and produce these strong, damaging thunderstorms. But overall, man, oh man, we'll have spring and summer-like temperatures really making themselves at home here into the high 70s and low 80s for your Monday if we look at the 5-day forecast. Into the low 80s, and the low 80s is sunny and very warm, remaining nice and dry. But again, we dampen those temperatures just a bit, still in the low 70s for your Friday with those rain chances. Make your dreary end of your week warming up and drying up for your Saturday, remaining warm for your weekend, but with that thunderstorm chance again for your Sunday. With these warm temperatures, will be making us forget all about winter. However, the area has been known to get really, really late snowfalls. That brings me to our second edition of Weather Trivia. And the question is, what is the latest snowfall according to the RDU reports? We got 3 options here. What do you guys think?
I think I have to go with the latest date up there, April 24th.
I'm going to go with C, April 8th.
Okay. A lot of good answers here. Well, you're going to have to stay tuned with us throughout the break to find out.
Recap from Carolina Athletics in anticipation for some exciting weekend events. We'll be right back.
I'm an ex-drug dealer. Be your sub today. 2 milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it? I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, it's profitable. The sad reality is fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
Or kids should know.
All right, guys, thanks for sticking around to hear the answer. The answer is, believe it or not, it snowed on April 24th. I can't believe we haven't even gotten to that point yet, and it's so warm. So congratulations on getting it right.
Thank you.
I cannot win at trivia, obviously. But let's check in with Sports Extra anchor Caitlin Schmidt to see if our student athletes have been acing it lately.
Yes, Abigail, yesterday was a great day to be a Tar Heel, so let's get into what happened so far this week. Coming out of the rainy weekend with a win, the number 5 ranked women's lacrosse team traveled to Greenville Tuesday afternoon to face East Carolina for their last non-conference game. The Pirates almost held the Heels scoreless in the first quarter, but with less than 10 seconds to go, Riley Casey saw Nicole Humphrey, sending her the perfect feed to get the Heels on the board. The Heels quickly responded in the second, and with the offense working to earn the fouls, Caitlin Wurzberger's pass to Nicole Humphrey put the Heels in the lead 4-3. The Heels and the Pirates were tied going into the fourth, but Nicole Humphrey's drive and spin move from the top put the Heels up by 2. Darcy Felter's free position gave the Heels their 6th goal of the quarter to help the Heels pull away to a close 12-9 win. Following a series win in Atlanta this weekend, the Diamond Heels were back in action at the Bosch on Tuesday with a non-conference matchup against Queens. It looked like it would be a blowout victory for the Heels when this Tomas Frick double put Carolina up 3-0, followed by a Chase Stokely double that tacked 2 more onto the board. In the third, Patrick Alvarez hit his first career home run, making the score a whopping 10-0. The Royals continued to fight back, however, scoring 2 homers and some strung-together hits, but Kevin Acee came in with the bases loaded and shut it down. UNC takes the cake 10-6.
Obviously, we have to play better, and our guys know we need to play better, but we're somehow playing okay and finding ways to win games.
The Diamond Heels will play Miami tomorrow, competing for second place in the ACC Coastal. 2 members of the diving team have picked up ACC yearly honors following the 2022-23 season. Aranza Vasquez is Women's Diver of the Year. This is the second time the junior has earned the title since the 2020-21 season. And following Alyssa Dawson in 2016, she is second in all of UNC women's diving history to receive that honor. At the NCAA Championships, Vasquez became the first diver in program history to win 2 national championships by capturing first place in the 1-meter and 3-meter springboard. Women's Diving Coach of the Year is Yidel Gamboa. He was also named the CSCAA Division I Women's Diving Coach of the Year after tutoring 5 NCAA championship qualifiers, along with the dual national champion. This week, UNC softball will look to extend its 2-game ACC winning streak when it hosts Syracuse at Anderson Softball Stadium for a 3-game series. After exploding for 13 runs in 2 games against Pitt, Carolina will need to stay aggressive at the plate, as the Orange have allowed the 3rd most runs among ACC teams this season. Abby Settlemeyer and Isabella Emmerling are coming off career performances, going up combined 7 for 11 with 6 RBIs, and will be crucial for providing Carolina's offensive punch. Head coach Donna Papa will be hoping for another quality outing from her pitching staff on Friday. The ACC Women's Golf Tournament tees off tomorrow at Sedgefield Country Club in Greensboro. The Heels are coming off a 2nd-place finish at the Wolfpack Invitational with strong performances by Krista Junkar and Krista Izukiza. Other ACC stars to watch for are Clemson's Annabelle Pancake, who notched 3 top finishes in March, and Wake Forest's Rachel Kuhn, who has won 6 collegiate titles in her career. UNC continues to live up to its nickname as the University of National Champions, not only due to the success of its varsity sports, but club sports as well. Ashley Humphrey has the story.
UNC Club Pickleball has found success since its formation. What began with informal practices among friends during the pandemic has turned into a well-oiled machine that qualified for and competed at a national level. In the fall of 2021, the team competed in the first ever intercollegiate match played in the Southeast against NC State's club team. From there, the club began competing in more inter-squad and intercollegiate tournaments, including their very own Tar Heel Classic tournament. They began tracking their skill levels according to the dynamic universal pickleball rating system called DUPR, which is similar to tennis rankings. At the start of the school year, the team qualified for the first ever DUPR Collegiate National Championship. The club's co-president, Hunter Boyd, is a huge driver behind the club's success. After transferring from Pepperdine last year, Boyd has contributed both on and off the court.
I actually found out on Heel Life that there was a club pickleball team, so I reached out to some people on Instagram, and they welcomed me, and those were the first people that I met.
16 players on UNC's team qualified for the national championship in Austin, Texas in November. The final 4 teams were the top 4 ranked teams coming into the tournament: UNC, JMU, Utah Tech, and TCU. Number 3 UNC beat JMU in the semifinals and ultimately beat the number 1 Utah Tech for the Natty, winning a $10,000 scholarship.
Being able to prove everyone wrong and just performing as a team in such an electric atmosphere was super fun.
The goals are to keep repeating, keep getting the Natty.
The team hopes to keep up with the momentum of the fastest growing sport in the nation by becoming an official club sport at the school, getting more courts built on campus, and gaining more sponsorships. I'm Ashley Humphrey reporting.
With $10,000 and a Natty under its belt, the club pickleball team is making some noise around campus. I look forward to watching its growth. Meanwhile, in Kenan Stadium, the football team is gearing up for its annual spring game on Saturday. The game is an opportunity for the program to showcase its hard work during the offseason and the skills that the highly anticipated recruits bring to the team. One noteworthy transfer is Armari Gaynor, a grad student from Florida State who will play edge rush for the Heels this fall. For the Seminoles, he played linebacker and recorded a career total of 210 tackles. On the offensive side of the ball, fans can look to Georgia Tech transfer Nate McCollum. He was the Yellow Jackets' leading receiver last season with 60 catches and 655 yards and 3 touchdowns in 11 games. He finished 5th in the ACC in receptions. Gaynor and McCollum are joined by many other notable transfers who fans hope will add some energy and talent to the team. With plans to improve 2022's 9-5 record, UNC football plans to show out on Saturday. Kickoff is set for 3 p.m. in Kenan Stadium. We'll talk more about Saturday's game on Sports Extra, so don't miss our upcoming Friday show. Join us for another preview of another exciting weekend of Carolina athletics. Back to you guys.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depression stuff. That's what white people think. You all right?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
Welcome back to Carolina Week. Abigail, did you dress up for Easter?
Not this year. I couldn't find my bunny ears.
Well, these newborns at UNC Rex in Raleigh did.
Looks like the Easter Bunny made a visit to UNC Rex in Raleigh and left behind baskets full of eggs and adorable newborns. Babies stuck at UNC Health Rex Women's Neonatal ICU in Raleigh, born on Easter Sunday, were dressed in adorable bunny ears and tails by a team of nurses. The photos you're seeing were shared by the hospital, congratulating the baby's proud parents.
Those are some really cute babies.
Seriously, they're adorable.
The leading school bus manufacturing plant is based right here in the state of North Carolina, and reporter Olivia Mondorf had a chance to talk to some of the employees from Thomas Built about their experiences with the company, their motivation to getting children to school safely, and their newest product, the electric school bus.
The yellow school bus. You've seen them transporting children in your local communities, and you've likely sat in those seats as kids on your way to and from school. But have you ever thought about everything that goes into producing them? From the welding to the painting to all of the exterior customizations, and now the advancements of the electric school bus, Thomas Built has established itself as one of the leading manufacturers throughout the country.
The price of entry in our business is safety. We have to build a safe vehicle. If we don't do that, then we failed first and foremost on what we're trying to do, and that's get kids to and from school safely.
The employees at Thomas take the responsibility seriously to transport children safely, and many of them have devoted a lifetime to the company because they truly love what they do.
Obviously, I've been here 42 years, and I pretty much work 7 days a week. If the doors are open, I'm here. It's just a feeling inside of me. I mean, I love what I do.
Many of the employees at Thomas attribute their years of work to the company, to the family environment that has bonded them together.
It's really fortunate that we can come and work at a place here in North Carolina, make good money, great family atmosphere around here, and it's a great place to work.
And knowing the hard work that goes into completing the finished product, Thomas employees have a strong sense of pride when they see one of their buses on the road in the state of North Carolina and around the country.
If I'm watching a movie or a TV program or something and the school bus is in it, it makes me feel good when I know it's a Thomas.
What has separated Thomas for years is the ability for the company to adapt and advance their model of buses to remain the best in the industry.
We're continuously trying to make it better, trying to make it safer.
The next step for Thomas is the production of electric school buses. While the electric school bus is nearly 3 times the cost of regular buses, these are a safer and more sustainable form of transportation that Thomas will work to produce more in the future.
The electric bus is going to be good whenever we get it up and going good. Right now we're building about 6 of them a day, but whenever it gets going good, it'll be a good product.
From High Point, North Carolina, I'm Olivia Mondorf.
The electric school buses will be more commonly seen on the road soon, and safety first remains the key goal.
Thanks for being with us for this week's edition of Carolina Week. I'm Abigail Whittington.
And I'm Lauren Lovett. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok for more Carolina news.